Hi, I'm Olivia and I'm a final year ordinand, and our reading today is from John chapter 11. It's verses 28 to 44, and it says this. After she had said this, that's Martha, after she had said this, she went back and called her sister Mary aside. The teacher is here, she said, and is asking for you. When Mary heard this, she got up quickly and went to him. Now Jesus had not yet entered the village, but was still at the place where Martha had met him. When the Jews who had been with Mary in the house, comforting her, noticed how quickly she got up and went out, they followed her, supposing she was going to the tomb to mourn there. When Mary reached the place where Jesus was and saw him, she fell at his feet and said, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." When Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews who had come along with her also weeping, he was deeply moved in spirit and troubled. "Where have you laid him?" he asked. "Come and see, Lord," they replied. Jesus wept. Then the Jews said, "See how he loved him." But some of them said, "Could not he who opened the eyes of the blind man have kept this man from dying?" Jesus, once more deeply moved, came to the tomb. It was a cave with a stone laid across the entrance. "Take away the stone," he said. "But Lord," said Martha, the sister of the dead man, "by this time there is a bad odour, for he has been dead, and there 4 days." Then Jesus said, "Did I not tell you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God?" So they took away the stone. Then Jesus looked up and said, "Father, I thank you that you have heard me. I know that you always hear me, but I said this for the benefit of the people standing here, that they may believe that you sent me." When he had said this, Jesus called in a loud voice, "Lazarus, come out!" The dead man came out, his hands and feet wrapped with strips of linen and a cloth round his face. Jesus said to them, "Take off the grave clothes and let him go." Well, it's a really full passage, so much that we could take from that. But as we enter this scripture today, we are entering a community. It's a community being shaped by death, a community that's being shaped by loss and grief. And tomorrow for us marks a year since the first lockdown began. And over the last 12 months, we have seen all of our communities shaped by death, by loss, by grief. Maybe not a loss of a loved one, maybe a loss of income, a loss of support systems, a loss of childhood normality. We have been shaped over the last 12 months by loss. But as Jesus steps into this community that is shaped by loss, he asks to be taken to the place where his dead friend is laying. And he's in the tomb, in a cave with a stone covering the entrance. Jesus asks them, "Move the stone." And Martha says, "Are you sure that the stench will be horrific? He's been in there for 4 days." If we think back a few hundred years ago to something like the bubonic plague, people carried posies of flowers around with them so it would distract from the smell of death which lingered around. But Jesus is not afraid of the stench of death. He asks them to move the stone away, and he speaks boldly into that darkness where death lingers. And he cries out, "Lazarus, Lazarus, come out." And out comes Lazarus, bound by the grave clothes. Jesus asks them to take those clothes away so Lazarus can go free. So I want to encourage us today as we look to the days and weeks, months ahead, as we come hopefully out of lockdown. I want to encourage us all that our eternal hope is just that. It is eternal. It's not temporary. I want to encourage us that it's not the vaccine or the hugs of loved ones, as wonderful as those things are. It's not the lengthening days and the sun that comes. No, our hope is found in a man who stands unafraid of the stench of death, amidst a community shaped by loss. Our hope is found in a man who stands at a grave and shouts, "Lazarus, come out." Our hope is found in a man who says to you and to me, "Come out. Take off that which binds you and be free."